Customers often ask the difference between the SCA and the Reimo pop top for the Metris camper van, also known as the Vito in Europe. They're very similar, both pop tops, in many ways, and it's hard to differentiate, over emails or over the phone. So hopefully this short video will help compare the two pop tops and show the differences and the similarities. Both pop tops use fiberglass for the outer shell. They both come standard white, which can somewhat match a white van. They use a gel coat process where the mold is actually sprayed during manufacturing. This gel coat doesn't have a UV protector in it, so over time, in a few years, the white will actually start to yellow. So it, again, is recommended to have them painted, even if your van is white. There's a cowl in front of each pop top, and it's actually sealed with SCA sealant all the way around, and it is a method of deflecting the wind around the pop top and the rain. And some lesser quality pop tops actually don't even have this. Each pop top uses a water resistant canvas for sidewalls and has 2 screens and 1 clear plastic window. The clear plastic window is to let light in when you have rain or snow. On the SCA, it happens to be on the passenger side. On the Reimo, it's in the front. The canvas is hard to depict in the video, but on the Reimo, it's lighter, more flexible, not necessarily less durable. And on the SCA, it's definitely thicker, heavier, less pliable. Here's a short clip of each fabric. And start rolling and tuck it into the little channel that's created around the perimeter just for the canvas. Some may experience this on the SCA pop top where the actual elastic pops out rather than in. This may be due to its sturdy nature. You don't really see this happening on the Reimo. The SCA does have 1 screen window that's completely sewn in and non-replaceable, as opposed to the Reimo, which all windows are double zipped and easily replaced. The struts that are used on each one are slightly different, whereas the Reimo has a guarded plastic guard over the chrome cylinder on the strut. You notice in the rear of the SCA pop top there are 2 struts to stabilize the side-to-side movement. In general, the SCA is a beefier top. It weighs more, it has a heavier canvas, but this requires more forces to lift. Using just a simple bathroom scale, here's an approximate amount of force it takes to lift and close each of the pop tops. You'll notice that the Reimo is just a little bit easier. Scissor hinges are used on the Reimo and the SCA pop tops. This allows the back half of the pop top where it hinges to raise up as you raise the front of it. The coating on the SCA hinges seems to be a bit better, and the overall build construction's a little bit beefier. But the Reimo hinges offer a very nice feature I'll show you here. This is the mid position of the pop top. So all the way up, it's like this. But for being able to zip the open sky back up and be able to just close it up all the time and be able to tuck in the canvas, this mid position is very nice. Both manufacturers recommend you get outside the vehicle and inspect the canvas before fully latching. This makes it much more convenient with the Reimo. Here's the Reimo's heat vent at the top of the pop top. Unfortunately, there's not a cover on it, so if there's blowing rain, there's no coverage. If you just want to block out all the light, again, no coverage. On the SCA, same vent, but there's a Velcro cover on it. There are these handy wells that are molded into the SCA pop top and allow us to put a 12-volt socket as well as a USB on this side over here. And within the Reimo pop top, there are no wells, and we put the sockets on the sides. Both beds make use of additional gas shocks to raise and lower the bed with little effort. The beds on each top offer a composite spring cushioning system. This provides optimal sleeping comfort with the minimal space that's allowed within the pop top. It's just within the past few years that SCA and Reimo are both offering these bed systems. They're great because they offer a lot of ventilation from the lower section to the upper. It's just beneficial in the winter for heating and in the summer for just allowing cool air to flow through constantly through the windows. Zomi is a name brand used in the Reimo. SCA uses Froli. They're both very common in Europe. Both foam mattresses measure out to be about 1.8 inches, and as subjective as this may be, they both seem equally comfortable. Around the perimeter of the pop top above the mattress, there's a room available for the canvas to fold into, leaving just a little bit of room for light bedding. The SCA uses these stainless steel retainer clips to hold up the covering, whereas Reimo uses Velcro, and both provide a little bit of privacy when lowered. One of the biggest differences between the two pop tops is the latching method. Seen here, the SCA uses the Southco hardware, and here's a quick demonstration of its latching method. There's a safety latch on the SCA. Pop that open, pretty simple and easy. And then there's the Southco latches that have these Mickey Mouse ears. Flap that down just 90 degrees, turn it 90 degrees, and that lowers this clasp. And then then you turn it another 90 degrees on the Mickey Mouse ears. It's all pretty simple actually. And then there's a magnetic retainer to hold it up. And then do the same on this side, and you can see how fast this goes. Just a word of warning, make sure before you pull it down that the Mickey Mouse ears didn't fall down. If they fall down like this, when you pull it down, they'll stab the canvas. So make sure that this Mickey Mouse ear is held up against this magnet before you bring it down. Once we have the canvas rolled in place, pull down. The hardware grabs around the clasp, and then just turn, crank. Again, pull down, turn, crank. The Reimo Pop Top uses a much simpler method of a tie-down strap, and here's a quick demonstration of unlatching it.
Making a ratchet for us, passing it towards me, writing is always towards you. So now you've got to ratchet up and down. It's the motion we're going for here. And you don't have to kill it, but it does help to get it tight with road noise.
To summarize, the two different latching methods have their pros and cons. The Reimo ratchet strap is simple, effective, and quiet. It actually accommodates for seasonal changes for the expansion and contraction of the top with the heat and cold, as opposed to the SCA has slotted screws holding it that need adjustment from time to time. Also, the SCA is a bit noisy. If you don't have it just all tucked away nicely, it can actually rattle as you're going down the road and require a bit of fiddling with to get it to be quiet. That said, the SCA is extremely quick to open and close, so they both have their pros and cons. A unique offering from Reimo is what they call the open sky. Let me demonstrate. Basically, if I pull down the pop top to the half position, you notice that the staves automatically come in. The canvas is a slightly different material on the Reimo, and that maybe is more pliable and lighter, seemingly durable. Stepping outside, you see that once we've unzipped all this and secured it to the ceiling, you step inside and you realize you have somewhat of like a convertible with an open view. I believe this is a unique offering from Reimo. Here's a table of just some of the dimensions, and you'll notice that the Reimo and the SCA are very close in size, including the van height, the overall height, the bed dimensions, the mattress thickness, the max height from the bed to the ceiling, the minimum in the back, where if you should sleep in that direction, how much headroom we have, and the width of the opening to get up into the pop top, and last, the headroom down below. Final thoughts, they're both great pop tops. I wouldn't recommend one over the other. It's all personal preference, and there is an added cost for the SCA. It's about 20% more. If you have additional questions, give us a call at 608-286-3542 or send us an email at info@smartupfit.com.